Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for your kind association. Let's get started with Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Panchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Let us recite our memorization verses for module 3. Etavan Sankhya Yoga Abhyam Swadharma Parinishtaya Janmalabha Parpumsam Ante Narayana Smritihi Akama Sarva Kamo Va Moksha Kama Udaradhi Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajeta Purusham Param Aham Eva Samevagre Nanyadyat Sadasat Param Paschadaham Yadetacha Yo Vashishyeta Sosmyaham Rityartham Yat Pratiyeta Na Pratiyeta Chatmani Tad Vidyadatmano Maya Yatha Bhaso Yatha Tamaha Yatha Mahanti Bhutani Bhuteshu Chavasheshanu Pravishtani Tatha Teshu Nateshaham Etavad eva jidnyasyam tattva jidnyasunatmanaha anvayavatirekabhyam yatsyat sarvatra sarvada atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanamutayah manvantareshanu nirodho muktirashrayah. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We are continuing our study of Grantara Srīmad Bhāgavatam. We are reading from the second canto, chapter 7, entitled The Scheduled Incarnations of Godhead. And we have to start from verse number 6 today. Lord Brahma is describing these various incarnations to Shripad Narad Muni. So the meter is like Brahma Samhita only. Dharmasya daksha duhitra ajat nishta murtyam, like that. So Sarojanandini Mataji, you can recite the Sanskrit words and read the English translation.
Dharmasya daksha duhita yajanishta murtyam narayano naraiti swatapah prabhavaha drishtvatmano bhagavato niyamavalopam devyastva svananga pratana ghatitum na shekuhu. Translation: to exhibit his personal way of austerity and penance, he appeared in twin forms as Narayana and Nara in the womb of Murti, the wife of Dharma and the daughter of Daksha. Celestial beauties, the companions of Cupid, went to try to break his vows, but they were unsuccessful, for they saw that many beauties like them were emanating from him, the personality of Godhead.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nicely recited the verse and read the translation also. So here Lord Brahmaji is explaining to Shripad Narad Muni that the famous Naranarayan Rishi, they are the incarnations of Godhead, and they are the twins of Dharma and Murti. Dharma is the father, Murti is the mother, and the twin children are Naranarayan. They are brothers. And even Cupid was not successful in breaking their Brahmacharya. It is said that Cupid has got 5 arrows. He is Pushpaban. He has got 5 arrows made up of flowers. And these arrows, 5 arrows, agitate the living entities through their 5 Jnanendriyas. So 5 arrows for the 5 Jnanendriyas. Lust attracts us through the sight of a beautiful body, through the feeling that I want to touch this body, through the tongue also, through the ears also, and through fragrance, through nose also. Hearing sweet voice, how Vishwamitra Muni, just by hearing the ankle bells of the Apsara, got attracted. And similarly, fragrance. There are perfumes for men and there are perfumes for females in the perfume industry. Why? Because different perfumes attract the opposite sex. So in this way, Cupid has got 5 arrows and attacks us through our 5 Jnanendriyas. But even Cupid, with all his 5 arrows, could not attract Naranarayan Rishi. And then Urvashi was one of the Apsaras that manifested from the body of Naranarayan Rishi and given as a gift to Indra. But they themselves were not attracted. Now this purport is very important. So I'm going to read the whole purport. So attentively let us hear. Purport by our beloved founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charana Arvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. Purport. Lord Krishna, being the source of everything that be, is the origin of all austerities and penances. Also, Naranarayan Rishi are constantly performing austerities and penances. And they are Krishna, incarnations of Krishna. So, all the origin of all the penances and austerity, tapasya, is coming from Krishna. Great vows of austerity are undertaken by sages to achieve success in self-realization. Without performing austerity, it is not possible to get self-realization. We have to put in hard work. Here Prabhupada says great vows of austerity, great austerities are done. Human life is meant for such tapasya. With the great vow of celibacy, Brihad Vrata. Remember? Brahmacharya is called Brihad Vrat. So in the story of Prasridra, we see that when he took the Brihad Vrat, so that is the great vow. Human life is meant for such tapasya with the great vow of celibacy or brahmacharya. In the rigid life of tapasya, there is no place for the association of women. And because human life is meant for tapasya, for self-realization. Tapasya for what? We don't want to do tapasya to get the 8 mystic powers. We don't want to do tapasya to improve our physical health. Tapasya is for self-realization. We don't want tapasya to become famous. Factual human civilization as conceived by the system of Sanatan Dharma, or the school of the 4 Varnas and 4 ashrams, 4 castes and 4 orders of life, prescribes rigid disassociation from women in 3 stages of life. There are 4 stages of life: Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas. Out of these 4 orders of life, 4 ashrams, avoiding association of women following Brahmacharya is mandatory in 3. In the order of gradual cultural development, one's life may be divided into 4 divisions. Number 1, celibacy. Number 2, householder life. Number 3, retirement. And number 4, renunciation. Raise your hand. What do these correspond to? What do these? Yes, Mukta Sangha Prabhu, go ahead.
4 ashramas.
Namely?
Brahmacharya, Grihastha ashrama, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa.
Very good. So celibacy means Brahmacharya, householder life means Grihastha, retirement is Vanaprastha, and renunciation is Sannyas. During the first stage of life, Prabhupada gives very practical advices, practical tips in this purport. So we are going to read the whole purport. So please listen carefully. During the first stage of life, Brahmacharya, up to the first 25 years of life, a man may be trained as a Brahmachari under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, just to understand that woman is the real binding force in material existence. If one wants to get freedom from the material bondage of conditional life, he must get free from the attraction for the form of woman. Woman, also called as the fair sex, woman is the enchanting principle for the living entities, and the male form, Hare Krishna, and the male form, especially in the human being, is meant for self-realization. So the way a woman is made by Lord Brahma, the woman is more emotional and the male is more rational. And the woman is more beautiful and the male is less beautiful. So woman is the enchanting principle. She attracts, enchants. And the male form is specially meant for self-realization. Because usually in Grihastha ashram, the wife follows the husband. If the husband gets a job somewhere, the wife will follow. That is just the Vedic culture. So if the husband is a sincere, advanced devotee, then the wife naturally makes spiritual advancement. But because the husband may be in a slightly dominating role relatively, if the husband is not a devotee and the wife is a devotee, the husband may present obstacles to the wife. Therefore, special emphasis is given that the husband should go on the path of self-realization. I was listening to one katha of Srila Radha Govinda Das Goswami Maharaj, and Maharaj was saying, हम कथा कर रहे थे और श्रोतागणों में अधिक तो महिलाएं ही थे. तो हमने पूछा आपके पति लोग किधर है, सिर्फ लेडीज आए हैं, सिर्फ माता लोग आए हैं? तो उन्होंने कहा कि हाँ वो अपने अपने कामों में व्यस्त है, तो आएंगे बाद में, प्रसाद पाने के लिए आएंगे कथा के बाद। तो हमने कहा कि नहीं, ये गलत है, उन्हें तो भक्ति में आगे रहना चाहिए हमेशा। पतियों का धर्म है कि भक्ति में अग्रसर रहना चाहिए। ऐसा नहीं कि पत्नी अकेली भक्ति कर रही है और पति को कोई भक्ति में रुचि ही नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। Srila Radha Govind Maharaj was explaining. So he said, it is a duty of the husband to take the lead that, oh, in our village there is a Bhagavad Saptah going on. Okay, let's suspend business. Let's stop work. 1 week, the whole family will go and hear Bhagavatam, Srīmad Bhāgavatam. We will go there, we'll hear Bhagavatam, we will do Kirtan, we will honor Prasadam. Let's go. The husband should make the priority. See, once a couple was getting married, devotees, and they went to my Guru Maharaj, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, for pre-marital guidance. And Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj told the husband that it is your duty to protect your wife. Shastra says that husband has to protect the wife. So Maharaj said, what is the meaning of this protection? The husband has to give protection to the wife on 3 levels: physical protection, emotional protection, and spiritual protection. Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj says physical protection means giving food, shelter, and clothing to your wife. She should have good saris to wear. She should have the kitchen should be well stocked. There should be enough prasadam, fruits, vegetables, grains, milk, ghee. It is your duty to bring it and supply it. And it is your duty to provide her with a good house to stay, a good flat, where there is a nice kitchen, there is a nice bedroom, there is a nice deity room, there is a place to receive guests, there should be a bedroom for the guests, visiting Vaishnavas who come. So it is your duty to work hard, earn money, and provide her a nice house where the wife feels comfortable staying. And there should be enough food, and she should have enough clothes. And same thing for the children. You should provide. This much hard work a man has to do. This is called physical protection. The wife should not have a tension, next month where we are going to live, whether my husband will be able to pay the rent of the apartment or no, whether I will have clothes, whether there will be food on the table or no. These anxieties the wife should never have. It is a duty of the husband to provide. It may be very simple. It may be the simplest house, simplest clothes. It may be a simple sari, and it may be simple food, moong dal, rice, something, atta for the roti, and some simple sabjis, nothing fancy, but there should be. So roti, kapda, makan, food, shelter, and clothing should be provided. And of course, not exposing the wife to stressful elements and not making the wife go and work, where the wife has to work in a corporate environment and she is subjected to stress from other men. That the wife should not have to do. The wife should not be forced to work. It is the duty of the husband to earn money. Maharaj said like that. So this is called physical protection, where you protect the wife physically from stressful elements of society, give her a comfortable house, clothes, and food. This physical protection. Maharaj said that you should give her emotional protection. Emotional protection means your wife should know that you love her and you are not interested in any other woman. She is the only woman in your life. You care for her deeply, and you are protective about her, and you should appreciate and encourage her. If you don't appreciate her, that is emotional violence on the wife. If you don't appreciate, or if the wife thinks that you have other interests outside the house, that is emotional torture for the wife, if she knows that the husband is not faithful. So like that. That is called emotionally protecting the wife, emotionally appreciating her, being affectionate to her, and giving her the emotional security that my husband is only attracted to me. He is not interested anywhere else. This is the duty of the husband, to give emotional protection to the wife. And the third is spiritual protection. Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj said, if you don't make arrangement for your wife to come for the Sunday feast every Sunday, if you don't make arrangements for your wife to come for the Saturday Bhagavatam class, if you don't make arrangement for your wife where she can peacefully sit in the counseling meeting and attend the satsang, that is, you are failing to give her spiritual protection. If your wife does not get 2 hours where she's completely free from household work, children work, your work, and she can exclusively sit and chant her 16 rounds, if you cannot even provide her a secure environment for 2 hours to do her sadhana, that is your failure to protect your wife spiritually. If you cannot make facility for your wife to peacefully attend the Kartik Yatra every year, that is spiritual failure of giving spiritual protection to your wife. He said, as a husband, it is your duty that you are making facility for your wife to chant every day. She should have time to read. She should have time to attend the counseling meeting. She should have time to attend the Sunday feast. She should have time to attend the yatra. This is, you are giving spiritual facility to your wife. This is called spiritual care, spiritual protection of your wife. So it is a duty of the husband to give these 3 levels of protection to the wife. That is what it is said here, that the woman is the enchanting principle and male form is meant for self-realization. Male form is meant for self. It is the duty of the husband to be himself strict about spiritual life and give that facility and encouragement to the wife also. So the wife can also progress. If this is not clear, or if you feel that there is a gender bias here, you can raise your hand later on and ask question. The whole world is moving under the spell of womanly attraction. And as soon as a man becomes united with a woman, he at once becomes a victim of material bondage under a tight knot. Attraction. The desires for lording it over the material world under the intoxication of a false sense of lordship specifically begin just after the man's unification with a woman. So what is this attraction between a man and woman? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Vasamsi jirnani atha vihaya. Vasamsi, we are like a vas, we are like a cloth. The human body is like a cloth. Attraction between a man and woman is like, please listen carefully, it is like a cotton dhoti getting attracted to a cotton sari. Both are hanging in a hanger, in a closet, in a wardrobe. On a hanger, there is a dhoti, which a man wears, and a cotton sari next to a cotton dhoti. And the cotton dhoti says, I am attracted to the cotton sari. This is the attraction between a male and a female. Attraction between a man and a woman. Why? Because the dhoti is also made of cotton and the sari is also made of cotton. Male person is also a soul. Jivera Swarup hai Krishna and Nityadas. And in a female body, the soul is the same. In the male body, soul is same. But the akriti, the shape of the body is different. There's a male shape, you're a female shape, so I'm attracted to you. But actually we are same. Just like this dhoti also cotton fibers, sari also cotton fibers, but one is getting attracted to the other. Isn't it nonsense? Isn't the whole concept of getting attracted on the level of body complete utter nonsense? Therefore Prabhupada uses the word false. The desire for lording it over material world under the intoxication. Intoxication means after drinking alcohol, how we are under the influence of alcohol, where we don't know what is what. This is like that. Not knowing what is what. A man getting attracted to a woman, woman getting attracted to a man. Recently I was talking, young boys, and after the seva, one boy came and said, I want to talk to you privately. And with tears in his eyes, he was saying that I was having a girlfriend, but we broke up. We are in the same college. She has taken on a new boyfriend. And every time I see her with her new boyfriend, I get emotionally devastated. My heart rate goes up. I start getting tremors. I start getting anxiety. I feel low confidence. I cannot focus on what the teacher is teaching in the class. It is very difficult. And he started crying. I said, Prabhuji, please, I don't know anything about Krishna consciousness, but I came to ask you this, if there can be some help. So this attraction between a man and woman, infatuation, so-called boyfriend, girlfriend, love stories, this is very much a big problem in today's world. But if we analyze with Vivek Buddhi, we analyze, it is such a falsity. It is so much based on illusion. Like a cotton dhoti getting attracted to a cotton sari. It makes no sense. Because we are all souls, we are all meant to serve Radha and Krishna. Radha Krishna seva pao, ehi abhilashi. We are all meant to serve Radha and Krishna. Gopi bhartu pada kamale or das das anudas. Where is the question of getting attracted to each other with the purpose of enjoying each other's body, which is just a cloth. It is not the real us. But the whole, Prabhupada is writing, but the whole world is moving under the spell of womanly attraction. The desires for lording it over material world under the intoxication of a false sense of lordship specifically begin just after man's unification with the woman. The desires for acquiring a house, possessing land, having children, and becoming prominent in society, the affection for community and the place of birth, and the hankering for wealth, which are all like phantasmagoria or illusory dreams, encumber a human being, and he is thus impeded in his progress towards self-realization, which is the real aim of life. All these things take us away from self-realization, which is the actual aim of life. The Brahmachari, or a boy from the age of 5 years onwards, especially from the higher castes, namely the scholarly parents, Brahmanas, administrative parents, Kshatriyas, and the mercantile or agriculturist parents, Vaishyas, is trained until 25 years of age. So first 5 years there is Lalan Palan. Srila Prabhupada says, first 5 years there should be love from the parents, security, love, nice food, just Lalan Palan. You should pamper the child first 5 years nicely. Doesn't mean make the child a brat, not like that, but should get a lot of love. Then next 20 years, from the age of 5 to 25, is the training time, where the child is placed under a guru. So is trained until 25 years of age under the care of a bona fide guru or teacher, and under strict observance of discipline, he comes to understand the values of life, along with taking specific training for a livelihood. The Brahmachari is then allowed, so 20 years education will take place, spiritual education, value education, and also education that will enable the boy to earn his jivika, to earn his livelihood when he grows up. So professional training also will be given in 20 years, from 5 to 25. Spiritual education, value education, and professional training, skills are given, life skills, for a specific training, vocation, to earn a livelihood. The Brahmachari is then allowed to go home and to enter household life. So first 5 years, the child has got a lot of love. Next 20 years, the child has got love, affection from the guru, but also training and knowledge, and it is given for free. Only after the completion of the education, the tradition is that the student will give some guru dakshina, but otherwise everything is free for 20 years. Then the child comes back home to his loving parents, but at the same time maintains deep gratitude for the guru who gave so much knowledge, so much training. Then the Brahmachari is allowed to go home and enter householder life and get married to a suitable woman. Suitable woman means woman whose family background matches, the horoscope matches, their swabhav match. There should be compatibility, cultural compatibility. And then based on astrology and horoscope and everything, then the Brahmachari used to marry a suitable woman. So just see, there is so much training that goes before a person can get married. Nowadays, we just have to be of the legal age and we can marry. Just go to the court and marry. There is no training. How many people get trained for Grahastha Ashram before entering Grahastha Ashram? Just, I love you, you love me, let's get married. Parents are many times not even involved. So it's a very difficult situation. And divorce rate is extremely high. I just came back from India today. And while in India, I connected with some MBBS medical school friends, some college friends, and some school friends. And I was very shocked to hear that 4 of my very close friends who had lost touch after coming to Krishna consciousness, they have had divorce. They have divorced. And all of them have children also. And this is all in India. I'm not talking about US. My Indian school college friends, they have had divorce. But again, there is lack of culture. Nobody checked the compatibility. It was love marriage. 1 was arranged marriage. 3 were love marriages. Nobody saw horoscope really. And it's very, very sad situation. And yes, so many factors are there. Of course, there is interference from the in-laws. That is the common factor everywhere. But a lot of other factors also. Just not understanding each other, not appreciating each other. Those 3 things that we spoke about, giving physical protection, emotional protection, and spiritual protection. Spiritual to chhod do, because none of them were devotees. None of the couples were devotees. They were just favorable, but not devotees. So at least physical and emotional protection should be there. And this is India. And these things have become so common. I was quite surprised. In US, yes, it is common. But I did not think in India also divorce is going to become so common. It's very common now. So this is because there is no training. Neither is the girl trained, nor is the boy trained. But here there is 20 years of training before you are allowed to enter Grahastha Ashram. To enter an office and to work a simple entry-level 9-to-5 job as a doctor or an engineer, there is so many years of training given for a simple 9-to-5 job. But there is no training for Grahastha Ashram. Grahastha Ashram is not easy. 2 different false egos coming, even among devotees, it's very difficult. Because there can be difference of opinion, different nature, different swabhav, different likes, ideas, different way of doing things. And it involves a lot of compromise, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of understanding. Gaurang Guru had told me when I decided to get married. First, he was my counselor, Brahmacharya, but then I decided to get married soon. And then he told me to switch to a Grahastha counselor. So I told him, Prabhuji, I'll miss you as my counselor. Any sutra you can give me for Grahastha Ashram? Gaurang Guru had told me that in Grahastha Ashram, there is only 1 sutra that you should remember. Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Saishnuna, Manina Manadena, Kirtanya Sadahari. He said, and if you don't follow this, he said, then your wife will impose another sutra. And that will be Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Raja. He said, your wife will say that. So you better be Trinadapi Sunichena. So like that. But anyway, a lot of training is required for Grahastha Ashram. Here at Prabhupada is giving such a nice explanation. And suitable woman. But there are many brahmacharis who do not go home to become householders, but continue the life of Naishtik brahmacharis without any connection with women. They accept the order of sannyas or the renounced order of life, knowing well that combination with women is an unnecessary burden that checks one's progress in self-realization. So some devotees will become Naishtik brahmachari. After brahmachari training, they will become Naishtik brahmachari. So 2 thoughts here. One is, I have noticed that many times grihasthas, they are little insensitive when they talk about a brahmachari who changes ashram. Here it is said it is natural for a brahmachari to enter grihastha ashram after adequate training. But I have seen people say in a very negative way, ashram change ho gaya uska, brahmachari ka ashram change ho gaya. Ashram change ho gaya is natural, na? After brahmachari, the next ashram is grihastha ashram. Or they even use ki brahmachari ka fall down ho gaya. He become a grihastha now. So we should be sensitive about these things. It is not a fall down if it is done in an honorable way, if it is done in a proper respectable way with the blessings of one's Guru Maharaj and the senior Vaishnavas. A brahmachari may naturally graduate to a grihastha ashram. And second, it is very difficult, my dear friends, to be a Naishtik brahmachari in today's world. And this I am telling you after discussing with many of my friends who are Naishtik brahmacharis. Whatever it is in grihastha ashram, we have a spouse who is like a friend. We can talk, and we have parents, we have in-laws, we have our siblings, we have so many grihastha friends. We have our work colleagues in the workplace. We have neighbors. Somehow all this keeps us in a balance. But in a brahmacharya ashram, you don't have any of this. You're living in a brahmacharya ashram and you have your locker, you sleep on the floor, and that's your life. Every day Mangal Aarti, every day Japa session, every day Bhagavatam class, every day eating prasad, in the temple. After some time, if one does not develop some ruchi, it can become very monotonous and dry. And then there is something called as a midlife crisis. This happens in grihasthas as well as brahmacharis. And to some degree, it will happen to all of us. Most of us are in our middle age years here, 30s and 40s. So we have to really introspect. We may not be able to recognize it, but there is something called as midlife crisis for devotees, where you see that now your health is slowly on the decline. We start gaining weight. There is high blood pressure, beginning of diabetes, beginning of high cholesterol, some indigestion problems start. Now, little bit also we eat extra, we start putting on weight. So all these things happen in the midlife, in the 30s and 40s, especially in the 40s. We start getting eyesight problems also. So many things happen, maybe some little joint problems, some low energy, but the material desires are still there. And now we see that the body is on the decline. So it puts us in a crisis that all those things that I wanted to enjoy, my bucket list or whatever you call it, now the body is not going to give support. And spiritually also I have not made much progress. Material desires are still there. But because of being in bhakti for so many years, I couldn't fulfill them. And devotees go through a real crisis where they start questioning the validity of Krishna consciousness, where they start questioning whether the process of Krishna consciousness actually works or not, because I've been practicing it 10 years, 15 years, and the anathas are not going away, the material desires are not going away, nor am I developing a genuine taste in bhakti. And now I see so many devotees with so many faults, so many problems, I criticize, and things are just not working. The spiritual progress, devotees hit a plateau. They hit a flat curve in their middle age. And grihasthas think that the brahmacharis have made a lot of progress. They have, my brahmacharis who joined with me or joined after me have now become authors of books. They have a lot of followers. They have thousands of subscribers on their YouTube channel. They are traveling all over the world, phukat mein. They're traveling nice flights. Wherever they go, they stay in nice grihastha's house, eat nice food. They are given royal treatment, these brahmacharis. And look at me. I am working hard in my office just to survive in this competitive industry. I don't get peaceful time to chant my rounds. And these brahmacharis have all the time in the world to chant without working. This is what grihasthas think. Now, brahmacharis are thinking the grihasthas are so well placed. They live in comfortable houses. They have a wife to talk to. I don't have any friends here in the ashram. that I can share my problems with. My parents are getting old, they need me. And all my Grahastha friends who joined with me, they are Grahasthas. Now, because they're in their 40s, they have become managers. Some of them have become at a very high ranking position in their industry. They're making good money. They have respect in society. When they preach, people listen because they have response. They are MBA, they are BTech, MTech. People listen to them when they speak because they have achieved something in material life. People look at me, a Brahmachari in the 40s and 50s, never had a job, never worked. They think what I'm speaking is irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. They want to hear from someone who has practical experience. So Grahasthas are doing well. Their parents are old. The Grahasthas are able to take care of their parents. They're able to pay the medical bills. They're able to arrange things for their parents. Look at me, I'm a Brahmacharya. I have no money. I'm not able to do this for my parents. My parents are also old. I have seen so many Brahmacharis and Grahasthas go through this crisis, my dear friends. So it's not easy. Life in this world is not easy. Hare Krishna. But some Brahmacharis will become Naishtik Brahmacharis. And those who become Naishtik Brahmacharis as Grahasthas, the reason I'm saying this is we have to be sensitive to all this. Some devotee is not coming for the program, is not waking up, not joining the Zoom meeting for chanting, and we judge them. Lazy, he is not spiritually properly situated. I will avoid his association. Maybe that devotee is going through a spiritual crisis. Maybe that devotee doesn't have taste. And it is a time for us to go to that devotee, reach out and see, Prabhu, I've been missing your association. Is everything okay? You want me to call you so I can wake you up? Be your alarm for you. Something like that. Invite them for prasad. Give them some importance. Give them some appreciation so they know that my existence matters in ISKCON. Everybody has given service for Srila Prabhupada. And sometimes we treat devotees like dirt. Similarly, Brahmacharis, somebody has taken saffron cloth. We should support and appreciate them, protect them, make sure that Matajis are not going near them to serve them, and we are there, Prabhujis are there to serve the Brahmachari, not exposing them to danger or risk. Who is going to protect the Naishtik Brahmacharis? It is the duty of the Grahasthas, especially the men. Sometimes I see even Mataris are dropping the Brahmacharis to the airport when they're visiting. This is not acceptable. It's a failure. Matra swasra dohitra na vivaktasano bhavet balvan indriya grama vidvamsamapi karshati. So in ISKCON, Grahasthas, we have to be very sensitive to the needs of the Brahmacharis, appreciate them. We should tell them, Prabhuji, your mother is sick. Can I contribute in some way? Just giving all the donation funds to the temple is, somehow we don't have this arrangement where there is a fund for taking care of the Brahmachari's parents, old parents, especially sometimes the only son has become a Brahmachari. Now there is nobody to take care of the parents properly. So as Grahasthas, we should help, we should treat them, think of them as our parents, because they are so Brahmachari can do bhajan peacefully and give, spiritually nourish the society of devotees. And likewise, the Brahmacharis also should be sensitive for the Grahasthas because they are struggling. Grahastha ashram is a struggle. The employer wants us to work 24/7. The wife has their needs, children, their studies, their sports, their tuitions, spending time with them. There's so much loneliness, making sure they are not in bad company. Then now our parents are also getting old. Then we have preaching responsibilities, then nurturing the newer devotees, giving them time, solving their problems. We are pulled in, and then the house, something breaks in the house, some repairs have to be done, bills have to be paid, the car has to be fixed. There's so much prapanch. So much going on for Grahasthas also. So Grahastha should be sensitive towards the Brahmacharis. The Brahmacharis should be sensitive for the Grahasthas. Not tell them, यार 20 साल हो गए अभी तक ब्रह्म संहिता के वर्सेस नहीं आते तुमको. ऐसा नहीं बोलना चाहिए. बेचारे वो 16 rounds, doing 16 rounds is also very difficult. I remember some time ago I was very much encouraging chanting extra rounds, but really when I sat down with so many Grahastha friends and asked them about their Dincharya, everyone, they don't have the similar jobs, and a lot depends on your job. Sometimes devotees are working. Just a couple days ago I was talking to one friend. He's trying to do coaching classes, and there is so much politics. The big coaching classes, they don't let any new teacher start their own coaching classes. There are complaints, envy, and then they have to work for another big coaching class. This is in India, and they make you work 13-14 hours every day, and sometimes they call on Sunday also. How can such a devotee chant extra rounds? And they have their own family, children, and preaching responsibilities. So really there is a need to have heart-to-heart relationships where we support each other. Life in this world is difficult, whether you are a brahmachari or a grahastha or a sannyasi or a vanaprastha. Life is difficult. Life is just not easy in this world. But if we are together, if we are friendly to each other, if we care for each other, if we help each other, the journey becomes easier. The journey becomes doable, manageable. And that is our responsibility. So some brahmacharis will remain Naishtik brahmacharis because they understand that for spiritual progress, celibacy and being renounced, it's a fast track. But also it's like driving on a motorcycle on a highway. It's fast. You can zoom, zip through and go fast. But if there is an accident, it's very bad. Even a small accident can be very bad, can lead to serious injuries. A motorcycle accident. Whereas Grahastha Ashram means driving a big SUV. It may be a little slow. Or a minivan, a big van. SUVs are fast. Minivan. It may be a little cumbersome to drive. It may be a little slow. But if there is some mishap, there is extra layer of protection. If a Grahastha has a fall down, if a Grahastha makes mistake, either nobody comes to know about it or it is forgiven. ठीक है. But for a brahmachari, sannyasi ro alpa chitra sarva loka gaye. Shukla vastra machi bindu yaichena lukhaye. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, just like you cannot hide a small black dot from a white cloth. Shukla vastra machi bindu yaichena lukhaye. You cannot hide it. Similarly, sannyasi ro alpa chitra sarva loka gaye. A small mistake, alpa chitra, small mistake of a person in the renounced order of life, sarva loka gaye. Whole world will talk about it. So if we are there for each other, it becomes less stressful. It becomes easier. That's why Srila Prabhupada started this society where we are there for each other, to support each other, because we will all go through good times. Sometimes things are going good. Job is good. Household wise, everything is okay. Kids are doing fine. Husband-wife relationship is also okay. And things are more or less going fine for some weeks or some months. But then we all go through a period where it's a challenge. It's a struggle. I was talking to one very senior devotee couple. They travel all over the world, and they were telling me, that wherever they travel and they stay in different homes, they said that sometimes we see that materially please listen carefully, this is the observation of two very senior devotees in our movement who travel all over the world, different continents, North America, Europe, India, and they do programs and they stay with different Grahastha devotees. Sometimes they stay in temples also. They said Grahasthas, what we have observed is either the Grahastha is doing very well financially, and material they are well placed, but there is no spiritual vigor. They are not really hot. The heat of bhakti is not there, is lacking. They're cold. And the kids are also cold. So at some places we see that bhajan is going very well, but bichare, work-wise, financially, they're struggling. Sometimes spiritually also they may be okay, financially also okay, but there are health problems. Somebody has been diagnosed with cancer and they're going through chemotherapy and so many things. Or children have some health problem, chronic health problem, which requires the parents constantly to cater to the needs of the children, and the children are not really able to function. So many families, they say, we saw that. Sometimes we see that the husband is very sincere, but the wife has a lot of material desires and there are fights. Sometimes you see the wife is very sincere, husband has a lot of material desires and there are fights. Sometimes you see parents are sincere, kids are completely spoiled. They want nothing to do with Krishna consciousness and parents are sad. Sometimes you see kids are like Prahlad. They are very much potential. They are very sincere in bhakti. They just need proper nurturing, but parents are completely career oriented and distracted. So the devotionally inclined children are neglected. So they were saying, this is what we observe wherever we go, and it pains our heart. So let us be there for each other. Let us have really not Haribol friendship, but at least we should all have some friends that we are deeply connecting with, where we can share Guhyam Akhyati Prachati. We can share our heart, share our problems, and just be there for each other. Because Manushanam Sahasreshu Kaschidati Siddhaye Yajatamaphi Siddhanam Kaschin Mam Vechitatvata. A devotee is very, very rare. Devotee is very, very rare. You used to see the population. I was in Akola, 15 lakh population of Akola. And there are hardly less than 50 devotees there. 15 lakh population. And so devotees are very rare. Atlanta also, 8-9 million population. Hardly 100 devotees live in Atlanta. 100-200 devotees maximum. So devotees are very, very rare. Narayana para sarve. What is that shlok? Muktanam api siddhanam. Narayana parayana. Sudurlabha prashantatma. Koteshapi mahamune. Sudurlabha, a devotee is very rare. So even in that small society of this endangered species called devotees, if we fight, it is not good. What preaching we will do? We want to preach and bring devotees into this society where there is so much fighting going on, where nobody cares. His Holiness Shachinandan Swami Maharaj tells the story in a German temple where one person, one grihastha would come for Sunday feast for many years, but never took initiation, never wore dhoti, kurta, never put Vaishnav tilak, never took initiation. So when he was asked, you have been coming here for so many years, why you are like this? He replied that I have seen in your society that you all treat the new devotees very nicely. जब कोई नया भक्त आता है ना, सब अरे who came for the first time? Who came for the 1,000th time? Nobody will recognize. You all treat new devotees very nicely, but you all treat old devotees, established devotees, experienced devotees very poorly. I have seen, he said, I have noticed in your society. You treat the experienced senior devotees very poorly. You take them for granted. But new devotees, lot of attention. Or take Rasgulla, take Rajbhog, new devotees. So therefore, I want to be a new devotee in the movement. I don't want to become an established devotee in your movement. This is a true story. His Holiness Shachinandan Swami Maharaj tells. So we don't want to be like that. We want to be there for each other. So, Naishtik Brahmacharya, such discrimination, since sex desire is very strong at a certain stage of life, the Guru may allow Brahmachari to marry. This license is given to a Brahmachari who is unable to continue the way of Naishtik Brahmacharya. And such discriminations are possible for the bona fide Guru. Bona fide Guru will tell, you get married. No, you must remain a Brahmachari. Like when first time Srila Radhana Swami Maharaj met one Brahmachari, I will not name, he'll be embarrassed. But he's a Naishtik Brahmachari, very nicely situated today. Maharaj told first meeting only that the floors of Radha Gopinath Mandir are waiting for your lotus feet. Please come and join the ashram. And he joined and never left. So bona fide spiritual master can recognize who can be a Naishtik Brahmachari, who cannot. Prabhupada also. So many examples. First meeting he told Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj, have you taken sannyas? No, Prabhupada. I will give you sannyas. First meeting in Vrindavan, in Krishna Balram Mandir. So, bona fide spiritual master. A program of so-called family planning is needed. The householder who associates with women under scriptural restrictions after a thorough training of Brahmacharya cannot be a householder like cats and dogs. See, this is the point we were discussing, that when a devotee goes through proper Brahmachari training, he is very responsible. He is very responsible. Because Brahmachari is very responsible, very disciplined, managing the whole temple, managing deity worship, managing preaching programs. They are very nicely trained. They are very responsible men. They are disciplined. Disciple means disciplined. Such a Brahmachari, when they become Grahastha, they become very nice Grahasthas. Prabhupada says they are not Grahasthas like householders, like cats and dogs. They are not Grihemedis. Such a householder after 50 years of age would retire from the association of women as a Vanaprastha to be trained to live alone without the association of women. When the practice is complete, the same retired householder who was a Vanaprastha becomes a sannyasi, strictly separate from women, even from his married wife. Jaiva Dharma we are seeing. Madhav Das Babaji, how he was the object of disdain by the genuine Babajis, because even after taking Babaji Vesh, which is equivalent of sannyas, he used to secretly meet his wife at night. And then Lahiri Mahasaya gave up that association. So, even from married wife, separate sannyasi. Studying and in our movement, we have very, very exemplary sannyasis, our Guru Varga, who were in the Grahastha ashram and then graduated to the sannyas ashram to serve Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And they are exemplary sannyasis like Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj, Srila Indradumna Swami Maharaj, Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And there are many examples like that of Grihastha Vaishnavas becoming sannyasis in very successful way. Param Pujya Srila Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj also. So like that, they become sannyasis. Studying the whole scheme of disassociation from women, it appears that a woman is a stumbling block for self-realization, and the Lord appeared as Narayan to teach the principle of womanly disassociation with a vow in life. With a vow in life. Just by seeing such Naishtik Brahmacharis like Naranarayan Rishi, one's desire for Brahmacharya becomes very strong. We get strength. The demigods, being envious of the austere life of the rigid Brahmacharis, would try to cause them to break their vows by dispatching soldiers of Cupid. But in the case of Lord Naranarayan, it became an unsuccessful attempt when the celestial beauties saw that Lord Naranarayan can produce innumerable such beauties by their mystic internal potency, and that there was consequently no need to be attracted by others externally. Prabhupada says a very nice proverb here. There is a common proverb that a confectioner, a sweet maker, confectioner is never attracted by sweets, by sweetmeats. The confectioner who is always manufacturing sweetmeats has very little desire to eat them. In our temple, we have Ghansham Prabhu, ISKCON Atlanta. He makes fantastic rasgullas, but he himself doesn't eat. He gives them away. Prabhupada says, confectioner not attracted by sweetmeats because always they are preparing sweets, very little desire to eat them. Similarly, the Lord, by his pleasure potency powers, can produce innumerable spiritual beauties and not be the least attracted by the false beauties of material creation. One who does not know alleges foolishly that Lord Krishna enjoyed women in his Ras Leela in Vrindavan or enjoyed with his 16,000 married wives at Dwarka. They don't understand. They consider Krishna to be ordinary human being. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mamabhuta maheshwaram. They don't understand Krishna, the Supreme Lord, and they criticize Krishna that he's enjoying like they would want to enjoy themselves. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna is Govinda. He is Gopi Jana Vallabh. He is always giving pleasure to the gopis. He is the darling of the gopis. Gopi Priya Jana, Radhika Ramana. That is our Krishna. He is not a lusty Casanova like we see in the material world. Krishna is not like that. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, and he is everyone's father. Sarva yonishu kaunteya aham bija pradapita pitaham asya jagatam mata dhata pitam. Krishna's enjoyment is completely spiritual. So this we should understand. So sorry, I went very slow. Maybe I'm jet lagged and mentally a little slowed down. I just landed a few hours ago. But next time I'll be a little fast. Next class. So thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthara Srīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So yes, Shama Kishori Mataji, please go ahead. Then Shyam Chandra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for such a heartfelt and emotional class. It was very, very nice. Thank you. Prabhuji, I have two questions. The first one was about this attraction that you spoke about between man and woman. At a certain age, especially like, when youth, etc., it's very, very natural to have that kind of attraction and especially infatuation. And you gave the example of this boy who was going through a heartbreak, and at that point it seems as if your world has ended, etc. So practically speaking, because sorry,
it feels shunyaitam jagat sarvam.
yes. So practically speaking, Prabhu, how can we guide our youth or someone who's going through this, because it's an all-consuming emotion at that point. So yes, how can we?
I had a neighbor, my friend. He liked one neighboring girl, and he really never told her, but they were opposite. So they used to look at each other through the window, and he presumed that she also likes him. And one day she just got married and went. Very conservative Marwadi family, very pious people. They just got her married, and this boy could not recover. Even today, he has not recovered. And so yeah, things like that happen. Exactly what you're saying. So this is a problem. So how to deal with this? Srila Prabhupada says, and Chanakya Pandit say, that after the age of 15, we should be like a friend to our children, where the children should be able to confide in the parents, especially girls to the mother, boys to the father. There should be open communication where they can tell us what they are going through, so that in a mature way, we can help them out. Because we have seen that age, we have probably gone through that ourselves, and we have insight, and we know how to support the child, how to give practical advice to the child to get out of that. Through, there are so many ways. Most important is to chant Hare Krishna and get the spiritual bal the adhyatmic bal, the spiritual strength to control the emotions. Because remember, senses, more powerful than the senses is the mind, more powerful than intelligence, more powerful than that is the soul. More powerful is super soul, Paramatma. So if we connect with Paramatma Krishna, then we can control the mind, which is lured by these attractions. So I think most important thing here is the children should have open communication. If the children don't have open communication, they don't feel that the parents are my friends and I can, in a friendly way, I just go for a walk with them and, just pour out my heart to them, then it will not work. Just the other day, I'm speaking from my heart. Just the other day, Maithili told me, now Maithili is only 11 years old. She told me that some devotee friends are mocking, basically telling her that you will not be successful in life because you are in online school and you are being homeschooled. So you have to come to a real school, meet real people, make real friends. Only then you can be successful. Otherwise, you will never be able to have a job. You will not develop essential skills. So she was in a crisis when she heard that. And she told me, Dad, I want to talk to you. I'm feeling I'm not going to be successful. I'm not going to grow up like a normal girl if I am in this online school. So I told her, Maithili, let's just go out. I took her to a smoothie place. And, we ordered one smoothie. Both of us were sharing that smoothie. And I spoke to her, I explained to her, I said, see, Balram, he came from California, Shripad Vaisheshika Maharaja's student. And at 18, he enrolled for PhD in Georgia Tech. At 11, he started college. Such a brilliant boy, completely homeschooled. Aruda Mataji's two sons, Radhika Raman Prabhu and Gaur Hari Prabhu.
Gopal Hari.
Gopal Hari Prabhu. So such amazing PhDs, top universities, such wonderful human beings, wonderful devotees, homeschooled. And I said, in North America right now, if you see in USA, there are dozens of children who are being homeschooled. So there is Divyanam Prabhu in Richmond. So like that, I told her, I said, don't worry, you're not alone. And it broke my heart that her own friends in the Bhakti, in the devotee community in the Bhakti Vriksha are telling her like this. So, but what to do? I just had a heart-to-heart conversation. I said, Maithili, I think you are doing fine. I think you have got excellent skills. When you meet neighbors, when you meet people, you go to Mama's office, you meet her colleagues, you are able to interact with them, no? Then why you think you will not be able to interact with people? So don't worry, you are growing up like a normal kid and we are monitoring. And if anything happens, you have any concern, you talk to me. We will, we can put you in a real school also. No problem. So, but I just felt that this girl, this was going through her for many days. Finally, she mustered up the courage to speak to me. So, because she was afraid that both the parents want me to be in an online school, how can I tell them that I don't want to be in online school? I will disappoint both my parents. So she was not telling. So my point is that we should have such a friendly relationship with our children after a certain age that they feel comfortable discussing with us. Then this boyfriend, girlfriend thing, we can, guide them through that, through chanting, through giving them other engagement, through taking help from other friends. There are many ways to giving them more time, more attention. Out of mind is out of sight, giving them other engagement so they don't think about the girlfriend or boyfriend, and emotionally giving them more encouragement that, we love you, we are there with you. These are temporary things, or just telling them, what, I also had an infatuation when I was your age. So then they feel, oh, I'm normal. This is normal. I'm not some abnormal weirdo. So like that. So I think we have to be a safety net for them after a certain age. After a certain age, we have to be friends. We cannot dictate to them, do this, do that. We have to be a safety net. How in circus, those people are swinging from one place to another. I don't know what it is called. The last act in the circus is in childhood we used to go. So
Trapeze act.
Trapeze act. So they're doing the trapeze act, but there is a safety net below. So after the certain age, we have to be that safety net for children that, okay, you explore life, you do things, we are there to tell you what is right, what is wrong, but we know you are going to explore, you are going to have infatuation, you are going to try certain things, but we are there as safety net for you. If you get into trouble, we are there. to hold you. They should have that confidence, not that my parents will disown me if they find out. So that is my two cents, Mataji. Is that okay? Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. May I ask another question?
Yes.
So, Prabhuji, this is a bit unrelated to today's class, but today is Ganesh Chaturthi, and I was speaking to someone, and we got into this conversation. And basically, I said we don't really worship Ganpati today, and I don't even have a deity. I gave it away, etc. So she was saying that this is not right. All pujas start with worshipping Ganpati, and I said nowhere actually in our scriptures it is said that you should be doing Visarjan, etc. And she said no, there are certain places where Maticha Murticha Visarjan hota, like things like that. So I just wanted to understand, is it really given in our scriptures that you should, like, is Visarjan really an authentic thing coming from our scriptures?
What you said, Shama Kishori Mataji, is correct. What your friend said is wrong. Visarjan is there. In Srīmad Bhāgavatam it is there. Mention about Visarjan. But that is for Vairagis who are living in the forest, not for Grahasthas like us. Dhruv Maharaj did Visarjan. Srimad Narad Muni tells, you make a deity of Vishnu from mud, and he would do Visarjan. Even in 11th Canto, in the deity worship section, there are different types of deities. Some deities are established and then unka Visarjan hota hai. You just offer them in a holy river. So Visarjan is a bona fide concept, but this Ganesh Visarjan, what is there, that was started by Sri Lokmanya Tilak, and the whole thing was to create social unity against the British. And it was more of a socio-spiritual thing. But the way it is done now, big deities are established, they are worshipped in Ganesh only knows what ways. And it is totally avidhi purvak. It is not in the proper scriptural way. And then throwing these big deities into oceans and rivers is absolutely not right. And this friend should read Jaiva Dharma. Then she will understand why we should give up these deity worship, these demigod worships, because it is all naimittic. It is not the Nitya Dharma. So what you said is right. And this type of Ganpati puja is not according to Shastra. It is something that was a recent concoction 100 years ago, 120 years ago. So definitely not for us, for the devotees. What we are doing is eternal. The science of chanting Hare Krishna, the science of Harinam Sankirtan, science of deity worship. This is based on Srimad Bhāgavatam. This is based on Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is the eternal activity of the spiritual world. Shri Narottam Thakur is saying, Gathiya Malatir Mala Dibo Dohar Gale. He's making flower garlands and offering Radha Sham, Shri Narottam Thakur. And that's what we are doing in deity worship, making garlands. So, Shama Gauri Ange Dibo Chandanera Gandha. He wants to offer sandalwood paste. That's what we are doing in deity worship. Golokera Prema Dhana Harinama Sankirtana. Harinam Sankirtana is going on in spiritual world, and we are doing it here. So these are all Nitya Kriya. These are all eternal principles. So yeah, what you said is right, Mataji. Visarjan concept is there, but that is for people like Dhruv Maharaj who have no fixed residence and they cannot build temples and maintain deities. So they do worship and then they do Visarjan at the end of the day. So that is for the Vairagis, not for us. You understand this?
Yes, Prabhuji. And in terms of why don't you worship, I mean, she didn't tell me that directly, but what's wrong in worshipping him at home? Because, I mean, he is also a devotee of Krishna. And in that spirit, at least at home, but we can't really celebrate all these festivals, right? We are coming in a parampara and we celebrate certain things. So that was the other thing, that he is the one who's worshipped first in all pujas. Then why not worship him at home?
That is there in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In the beginning, Srila Rupa Goswami also writes that Ganeshji's puja. And if you go to the Sapta Devalaya in Vrindavan, 6 out of the 7 temples have a deity of Ganeshji at the entrance on top of the. But the reason we don't worship Ganeshji the way they worship is because Yanti Devavrata Devan Pitrin Yanti Pitrat and Bhutani Yanti Bhuteja Madbhakta Yanti Mamapi. Madbhakta Yajanopi Mam. So basically, we don't want to go to the planet of Ganeshji. We want to go to Golok Vrindavan. And the way to Golok Vrindavan is only one, and that is Mahajanoyana Gathasapantha. Follow in the line of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami. Did they establish, did they do Ganpati Puja? Nowhere it is mentioned in Chaitanya. Did Mahaprabhu do Ganpati Puja? Nowhere it says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, Bhakti Ratnakar. None of these books tell. So our process is simple. Mahajanoyana Gathasapantha. Same thing in Jaiva Dharma. When those Smartha Brahmans asked the Babaji Vaishnavas of Godrum Dweep why you are associating with the Qazi and his group of Muslims. What was the answer they gave? Mahajanoyana Gathasapantha. Mahaprabhu's followers associated with them because they received the mercy and they are very favorable. They are bhaktas. So we also associate. We are following in the footsteps of our acharyas. So why we don't worship? Why we should do something different from what Prabhupada told us? Different something from what Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada told us. We follow our Bhakti Vedanta, Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhakti Vinod Dhara. Tell them. That's what we follow.
Yes.
That's what we follow. None of them did this, recommended this, wrote about it. So we don't do. You want to do, you do. That's your free will. But based on Shastra, based on Sadhu, based on Guru, we don't do it. There is no need. Ganesh doesn't want us to waste time worshipping him. He'll tell, why are you wasting time worshipping Baba? Yatpada Pallava Yugam Vinidhaya Kumbha Dvande Pranama Samaisa Ganadhiraja Vignan Vihantumalamase Jagatrasya Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. I am myself keeping the lotus feet of Govinda on my head. Why you want to worship Prabhupada? Honestly, Mataji, some of you may or may not agree with me, but I'm speaking this from my heart. Even Ganeshji worships Srila Prabhupada. Ganpati Bappa worships Sri Srimad Abhay Charana Arvind, the Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. I'm speaking from my heart. Srila Prabhupada is from inside the Nikunj. He's from Seva Kunj. He's worshipping Radha Govind. He is empowered by Srila Rupa Goswami. He's Senapati Bhakta of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he has brought thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of devotees. He will bring thousands and thousands and thousands of devotees to the path of Rupanuga Bhakti. Rupanuga Bhakti. And for this, even the demigods bow down to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada is not from some heavenly planet. Srila Prabhupada is from Golok Vrindavan, directly descendant from Golok Vrindavan. So is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. So is Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. When Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur walked into the assembly of Shankar Bhagwan, Brahmaji and Yamraj, all three of them stood up for Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He is Kamala Manjari. Gopishwar Mahadev has to do Tapasya. Narad Muni has to do Tapasya to enter the Nikunj. And still they don't get. And these are the Manjaris from inside. They are Radharani's servants. Why Ganeshji will not bow down? From the point of view of Siddhanta, I'm saying. Srila Prabhupada's position is like that. And Ganeshji is very happy to hear this glorification of the Nitya Siddhas. Ganeshji is a very powerful Devata. He's a pure devotee. And he is also a Nitya Siddha. Ganeshji also is a Nitya Siddha. He has his original position in the spiritual world. But what Srila Prabhupada has done, that nobody has done. No Acharya has done. So, and whatever I'm speaking, this is supported by His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj. Jai Prabhupada karke book hai, usko book ko pad lo aap. Srila Bhakti Vikas Maharaj says, wherever Srila Prabhupada places his lotus feet, tirthi kurvanti tirthani, that place becomes worshipable for all the demigods. When a devotee starts chanting Harinam, Brahmaji takes an Aarti plate to offer, starts preparing Aarti plate. When you started chanting Harinam, Brahmaji has started preparing Aarti plate for you. Because by the time Brahmaji will prepare the Aarti plate, it will be decades will go by. By that time, you will be ready to go back to Godhead. Brahmaji, this Rupa Goswami says, this is from Padyavali. Srila Rupa Goswami says that when a person becomes a Vaishnava, starts chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Brahmaji starts preparing the Aarti Thali. Ki from my Brahmanda, this Jiva is going to go to Golok Vrindavan. It's a matter of pride for me. ऐसे बच्चा मेरिट में आता है तो पेरेंट्स they put my child, ब्रह्मा जी के child children है हम लोग. He will feel so proud. मेरे ब्रह्मांड से एक जीव गोलोक वृंदावन गया. ये प्रभुपाद ने आके ऐसा दरवाजा खोल दिया गोलोक वृंदावन का. शिल गौर गोविंद महाराज, श्री पादाइंद्र प्रभु, शिल तमाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी महाराज, जमुना माता, लादिनी माता जी, so many Mahabhagavats, Srila Bhakti Swarup Damodar Maharaj, so many of them, Mahabhagavats, Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami, Srila Bhakti Tirth Maharaj, Prabhupada ke charanon mein pade hai. That is Prabhupada's position. These Mahabhagavats are at the feet of Srila Prabhupada. He is Prabhupada. All these Prabhus are at his path. So Srila Prabhupada's position is higher than the demigods. I am saying this with all humility. Srila Prabhupada's position is higher than the demigods. Srila Prabhupada is a Senapati Bhakta of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered Jagai Madai, you can read this in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavatam of Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu delivered Jagai Madai, the next chapter is called the Sankirtan of Yamraj, where Ganesh ji comes, Yamraj comes, and they dance, Indra comes, Shankar Bhagwan comes, and they all become intoxicated and they fall down. Seeing the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on Jagai Madai, kitne Jagai Madai ko bachaya Srila Prabhupada ne? Kitne Jagai Madai have become pure devotees. Nobody knew about Bhakti. Prabhupada comes to America and he makes the hippies into clean shaven pure Vaishnavas who are today sannyasis and gurus and wonderful Vaishnavas. So Srila Prabhupada is worshipable for Ganesh ji with all humility. Srila Prabhupada is worshipable for all the demigods because Srila Prabhupada is Radharani's Dasi. Srila Prabhupada is representing the Rupa Manjari Dhara. It is a very exalted position. Arjun, Narad Muni, Shankar Bhagwan, they do tapasya to enter into the Nikunja Leela of Radha and Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada is Nikunja Yonu Ratikeli Siddhe Yayali Bhiryukti Rapekshaniya. Tatradi Dakshad Ati Vallabhasya. He is Radha Krishna ko Ati Vallabh. He is very, very dear to Radha and Krishna, Radha Govinda. Vande Guru Shri Charana Ravindam. It is Srila Prabhupada because of whom we know about Nayana Mani Manjari, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. It is because of Prabhupada the world knows about Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, 6 goes. It is Prabhupada who in America cried, Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau. Srila Prabhupada is the representative of this entire Guru Parampara of Manjaris. Srila Prabhupada's position is unparalleled. Srila Prabhupada is Nityananda Prabhu Shaktavesh. All the demigods will offer obeisance to Srila Prabhupada. Guruvagya Ashirasi Dhritva Shaktya Vesha Swarupene Hare Krishneti Mantrana Paschatya Prachattarine. Demigods will be so proud. Baap re baap. Kaliyug mein जीवों को गोलोक वृंदावन ले जा रहे हैं महापुरुष Srila Prabhupada. They will also want to take birth in Srila Prabhupada's family, the demigods. This is Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada is Advitiya. No bhuto, no bhavishyati. What Prabhupada did was never done before and it cannot be done because it's already done. Nobody will do it in the future also. Taking Krishna consciousness to all the continents. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Is that okay, Mataji?
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Worship Srila Prabhupada. Guru, Gauranga, Gopinath. That's who we worship. Okay. Sorry for a very, very long answer.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh Krishna, what a empowered class, Prabhu, today from you. My Dandat Pranams to you, Hare Krishna. It also fitting, today was the 150th session of our Bhakti Vaibhava. And this class was outstanding. All your classes are good, but today was outstanding. I have no hesitation in saying that. And I think I'll go through this class once again. Because, this is more of a comment that I'm going to make than a question. Because what I observed was almost every verse of the purport of Srila Prabhupada, you had a story to narrate, and that is how you took us through the entire verse. And I really liked when you mentioned so nicely about His Holiness Radhana Swami's, sutra for how Grahastha should live. That is the 3 types of protection that you mentioned: physical, emotional, and spiritual. So a comment on this, what I feel is why most of the Grahasthas have problem is because they are not able to balance between the 3. the physical or the emotional sometimes outweighs the spiritual, or even vice versa. The spiritual can go to such an extent that physical and emotional gets ignored. The proper balance is required. Otherwise, either way, it's a problem then in the Gastha life. So nice, Prabhu, you brought up so many points. I've tried to scribble in different ways. I have to make it fair, but I'm really happy that I attended this live today. And thank you so much. And Aminda Prabhu tells me that you just reached Atlanta a few hours back. And while you were in Akola, you maintained the US time for your biological clock also. I mean, this was phenomenal. Thanks a lot. Hare Krishna. Dandat Pranam to you again.
Prabhuji, you and Amarendra Prabhu are inspiration for me.
Not me, surely. You're my inspiration.
Amarendra Prabhu's other name is Sham Chandra Das. Jo. ऐसे बोलते ना आत्मजा वैसा आत्मजा.
That's on the middle platform, Prabhu, but on the spiritual is a J of Srila Radha Govind Goswami Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Jai. Jai.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Very nice. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Divya Mataji. Last question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have two questions. One is regarding when the wife is trying to pursue this path, and husband is not. And since we are in an inferior position, we are not able to impose too much on husband to follow or even encourage. So we kind of feel that we have to do this without husband encouraging us. So in that situation, how should we behave? And my second question is about the attraction you spoke about between a man and a woman. So I just wonder, what kind of attraction are we referring to? Because once I was speaking to a Prabhuji Mataji, both are initiated. So Prabhuji told me that my wife, the minute she met Maharaj, she fell in love with him. I'm a husband, but she's in love with Maharaj. So, he was laughing. And to me also, it did not feel like anything inappropriate. So, is that kind of attraction also bad?
No, it's not like that. So regarding the second question, the attraction between a disciple and the guru is completely on a spiritual platform. The relationship of a guru shishya, spiritual master and disciple, is a spiritual relationship. So that is not a material attraction. Atmendriya priti ichha tarabale kam. Krishnendriya priti vancha dhare prema nam. Prem means to satisfy the senses of Krishna. And Guru is Sakshadhari. Yasya deve para bhakti ritha deve. So Guru and Krishna, we don't differentiate in that sense. Lust, the attraction between man and woman that we were talking about, is lust, where the attraction exists to satisfy the senses. The man wants to satisfy his senses, the different senses, and the woman wants to satisfy her senses by coming in contact with the body of the man or body of the woman. So it's a lusty attraction. But this type of falling in love with one's guru, this is completely on the spiritual platform. Chakshudana diloje janme janme prabhu se. Divya jnana hriday prakash. So that is attraction to Guru, because Guru connects us to Krishna, who is the abode of all prem, all love. So it's a completely spiritual attraction. It's an attraction based on attraction for Krishna. It's an attraction based on service, not attraction based on sense gratification. Attraction for Guru means the love that Kuresh had for Sripada Ramanujacharya, for whose sake he was even willing to undergo the punishment of getting his eyes burnt with a hot iron rod and dying. So that is the love that a disciple has for Guru. The love of a disciple for the Guru is like that of Brahmananda Swami, Srila Prabhupada's disciple, who went to Pakistan to preach when India-Pakistan war was going on in the early 1970s. When the tension, the relationship between India and Pakistan, there were riots going on. At that time, to please Srila Prabhupada, Brahmananda Prabhu goes to Pakistan with Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada's books, and preach there. That is love. It is not based on sense gratification. It's based on sacrifice. It's based on service. Is that okay, Mataji? Regarding the first question, Mahaprabhu
Yes, Prabhuji.
says that Antare Nishthakara Bahya Lok Vyavhara Chirata Krishna Tomai Koribe Nistar. That internally we should be Krishna conscious, externally being a wife or any spouse, when the spouse is unfavorable, it is better to keep peace. So externally you do the duties of a wife, as a mother, as a householder, you do your duties externally nicely, and internally you be absorbed. Nobody can stop you from chanting Hare Krishna internally while you're cooking, while you're at home. Nobody can prevent you from chanting Hare Krishna. And just by doing chanting Hare Krishna, everything is achieved. All the 9 limbs of bhakti can be performed. Eka Krishna nama kare sarva papakshay, navavida bhakti Krishna nama haite hai. Just by chanting Hare Krishna, you are doing navavida bhakti. Nothing else is required. If you are not able to, just keep chanting Hare Krishna. Khaite, shuite, yathatha namlay, deshkal niyam nai sarva siddhi hai. While eating, sleeping, khaite, shuite, yathatha, whatever you are doing, naam le. Deshkal niyam nahi. You can chant anywhere, you can chant anytime. And sarva siddhi hai. You will get all spiritual perfection just by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. These are the words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati also says, Bhavatsavena bhajata. Bhavatsavena bhajata. The utsav is bhav. For example, you want to celebrate something, or Radhashtami is coming, you want to celebrate it at home, but husband says no. But bhavatsavena bhajata. Bhavatsavena bhajata. You can have the utsav in your heart. You can celebrate Radhashtami inside. My Radharani is sitting with my Sham Sundar. They are sitting on a nice throne. For them I will chant Divyat Vrindaranya Kalpadrumada Srīmad Ratnagara Simha Sanasthav Srīmad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Preshthalivi Sevyamano Smarami Shama Gauri Ange Divo Chandanera Gandha Chamara Dulabo Kabeheri Mukha Chandra. In meditation, nobody can stop you from doing all this. So Antare Nishtha Karo Bhaya Lok Vyavhar. What will be the effect? Achirat Krishna Tomai Koribe Uddhar. Very soon Krishna will take you back home, back to Godhead. Okay, Mataji? So you be like that. Don't worry. Nobody can stop you from your Bhavatsavena Bhajata. Doing bhajan internally. But don't fight. Keep peace in the house. You chant Hare Krishna. Everything will be achieved just by chanting Hare Krishna and eating Krishna Prasad, which you are doing. Okay?
Right, Prabhuji, what if like we want to, influence our husband and encourage them to come in through this path, but we don't have the, since we are in the subordinate position, we are not like able to do that?
You want to inspire him?
Like a talent?
You want to inspire him to come to Bhakti on the path of Bhakti? Yeah. So best way is to keep peace at home. Best way is to give him as minimum as possible chances to complain about your duties as a wife, mother, householder. So if he sees that you are a Vaishnavi, you are practicing, you are doing your bhajan nicely, at the same time you are doing your household duties nicely, and if you pray for him, then he will come. Krishna will give him mercy. Ultimately, he has to accept. His free will is there always, but Krishna will give him opportunity to become a devotee. And Krishna will give him the inspiration also to become a devotee. If you maintain peace at home, and if you are a good example for him, and if you pray for him. So 2 things: be a good example as a wife and a devotee for your husband, and number 2, pray for your husband. Pray to Srila Prabhupada and Krishna for your husband, and they will shower their blessings. Okay? Yeah, even feeding him nice prasad, and when you offer the prasad, you can pray that, oh Krishna, please accept this humble offering and empower this prasad, so that when my husband eats it, his heart becomes purified. So then prasadam is very powerful. If you feed, I know some examples where just wife, by feeding nice prasad and praying for the husband has become a devotee. So like that. Okay. Last question, Darshini Mataji. It's very late. Very quickly we'll take. Mataji, very quickly, very short.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, and pranams, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Prabhuji, my question is that when you were mentioning about the midman problem that occurs in the late 40s, that you see that the material desires are not gone, but spiritually also we've not advanced that much. So what is the extra endeavor one must put at that point of time to advance spiritually?
Association. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kahe Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi. At that time when the crisis happens, we really need good association, that those friends who can lift us out of that crisis. Because we are in the crisis. So we need someone who is not in crisis, who is well situated and who loves us, who has affection for us and who is willing to help. Association will keep us steady in our bhajan. Remember this, number one, association will keep us steady in our bhajan. Association will give us the proper insight which we lack in the problem. Because we are going through crisis, we don't know what is going on, where we are going wrong. But someone who is not having that crisis, someone who is spiritually well situated, such a well-wishing friend has proper vision of things and can give insight to us. So first is in the association of devotees, if we are answerable to devotees, we are in the association of devotees, like a Zoom call. Every morning you join the Zoom call with a senior Vaishnava. So you're answerable, you keep your audio video on. So at least your morning program is guaranteed to go well. And that itself is enough to keep you on track. So number one is with association, the sadhana will go good. With association, we will have proper insight into the problem. And number three, good association will generate good desires. Because the association that we keep generates desires in our heart. If we associate with cricket players or cricket fans, then we'll have all desires to watch highlights of cricket games and we'll be thinking of cricket. If we associate with politically minded people, we'll be thinking of politics, election, this, that. If we associate with advanced devotees, then we will have spiritually advanced thoughts and desires. So, and if the desires are good, then our activity will be good. And if activity is good, then we will get Krishna. So like that, association is most important. Association will produce good desires. It will give us proper insight and it will make sure our bhajan is going on properly. So in the time of crisis, we have to latch on to that friend or a few friends who are spiritually well situated and who also have affection for us. That will save us. Sadhu Sangha. Okay?
Yes, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Then with pranams, Hare Krishna.
So we'll stop here. Thank you for association and we'll see you next time. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Gadādhara Srīmad Bhāgavatam ki Jai.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Krishna, thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much.
Hare
Very
Krishna.
beautiful.